guys, this is Bridget, and I want to tell you some crazy insights I've been having as the sun sets here in Sedona. It's been incredible as I've been having these whale contact energies going on. One of the things that it's also been doing as I've been really slowing down and changing my brain states is it's been taking me out of deeper layers of the Matrix. Now, thank God for that movie, because we have an understanding, we have a place for this idea to land in our consciousness. But really where it comes from, I just have to walk, I have to be here with you guys. But really where this energy comes from is that we lived in a programmed software projection reality illusion. We know this, right? We all know this. But here's some deeper nuances to help break yourself out, because honestly, even if we've awoken, we're still in it, okay? And picture it this way: when you have your awakening, what has happened is, if you picture Neo in the Matrix, and I'll put a picture of the different parts where he's in the little like egg-shaped thing that's like living on his life force on his loosh, he pulls the cords out of himself right down his spine. So picture your awakening as the major cord right here being pulled. That's what like the awakening is. It's like, whoa! And it's like, wow, I'm awake. But there's more. There's more cords to cut. There's more to release from. And so what does that look like? How can we do that? So first and foremost, one of the big ways is that one of the ways that they keep us in control, and the idea is really just coming back into this fully awakened, fully empowered state, is through cities, is through bringing people together in these three-dimensional 90-degree angle created places. And I was shown this in a dream like a few nights ago. It was crazy. But I was shown how the 90-degree angles and the collective hive consciousness of cities actually makes it harder to get out. And the getting out is an interesting conversation topic, because getting out can come in two forms. First and foremost, to get out of the Matrix, you have to get out physically, okay? Physically. So would that mean you need to move from a city? Yeah, for sure. But we'll get to that in a second. The other way for you to get out of the Matrix is astrally. So the idea is, what I was shown is that there's an actual astral matrix that has our astral bodies, that has our energetics locked up in these interdimensional, like 90-degree angles that we can't get out of. And then in the physical too, we're also, cattle herded into certain places, into certain ways, into certain countries with these borders. So it's on the astral level and it's also on the physical level. And so the key is that when you break out, when you exit, you have to complete the game that was created. And I think I might be going to Los Angeles in the next few weeks, so I might do this video from there. But the idea is that in the cities, depending on what the city is, they're all different, but they're all similar. And so what I was shown in this dream is that, for instance, the program of Los Angeles is fame, fortune, sex, and power. Like that's the main program, the city of dreams where everything is possible. Well, that's kind of the Big Apple too. And so if there's any part of you that still is like Smeagol towards any of those things, that hasn't played them out, you will be still trapped. So you can be like, oh no, I'm watching this video and I need to leave the city. But if there's still part of you that wants to get this giant mansion and do this certain thing or play out this certain illusion reward, just like a game, just like a video game, it's like that's your reward. If you still feel that need to play it out, then it doesn't matter if you're physically leaving, because your astral body is still going to be stuck there. And vice versa, if maybe you can start astrally leaving, which is actually what I did in Los Angeles when I was exiting. And it took me a few years, and I was really grateful. I think I've said this before, but my friend Coop Blackson, I was like, I'm ready to leave LA. Like, I'm done with this place. And he's like, no, you're not. And I was like, what? And I had to keep on playing some stuff out. But the idea is that I astrally got myself out of it, so that when I finally did leave, there weren't parts of me lingering. And one of the things that this whale energy has changed in me recently is it's like the last straw, like the last plug was pulled a few days ago. And that's not to mean that like I don't have other ones just because I'm like out of the city or whatever. And it's not just city. City's an example, because you can be in the suburbs and have just, that's a different program playing. But just to understand this. And so when you're in places like this, sacred sites like Sedona, they have their own collective consciousness. It's really hard for the energies to take hold and create a software program that we play out, and to take our energy to loose it. And so it's like, it's a free zone. Like if you're playing a game and you're playing like chase or whatever, right? Or tag, and then it's like, home base, like you're like free, like safe. I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean? It's like, that's like the timeout space. And so it's amazing, because then you can get perspective. And that's one of the great things, even if you're maybe not ready to leave these other spaces, to leave, I guess you could consider it the 3D, you can actually take a step out and get perspective on how you are still entangled in it when you go to these places, because it will put your energy in a new vibration. You'll be able to detox and get a hyper perspective on what's going on for you. And that's the other thing too. So if you leave but you're still astrally connected, you'll just sit in Sedona and watch movies and play out the energy and have your consciousness still trapped into that other world. So the idea is to play it from both sides, to play it from the astral, to play it from the physical, to exit the matrix. And the matrix is programs of what you think you need to do and be based on what the culture has said we need to do and be. And so if there's anything outside of that program that you're yearning for, like, oh, I just want to be this thing that doesn't actually seem right for the world, that's probably you're going in the right direction. So as you start to exit, there's new inspirations that come up that don't even exist in this world yet. So that's the way of looking at it. One of the other things that I want to share before I get into 3 different ways to help consciously exit the matrix, because I want to give you some tools to work with, is an experience I had. One of my friends recommended I watch the OA. It's this Netflix series. It has all the bells and whistles that would make it like a very spiritual, like crazy show that that would be enticing and very interesting to someone, you know, like kind of in our way of thinking, just like different mind spirals and ways of going about it. So anyways, I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, and by the 3rd one, something struck me where I was like scared. I was actually scared. So what started to happen as I was going to sleep is I could feel all of these astral and psychic energies that I had connected into. So it's like it opens portals or wormholes to our consciousness, where our energy can be leaked by other kind of entities, or it can also just be kind of like tied up or twisted or redirected to where not our full light nature is available. And it's doing these things on very like subtle levels. And it's getting really red now as it gets really intense in this video. So it's pretty crazy, and I've experienced this with a few other types of movies and shows. And so as you digest media, right, and it's not just Facebook or news, but even like your favorite show, Game of Thrones, or like House of Cards, or whatever your like novel thing is, really pay attention to how it makes you feel as you go to sleep, because there's a part of our consciousness that's not really our natural self, that has this fixation to something that actually isn't good for us. It's a strange thing, right? Like eating things, digesting things. It's always consuming things that might not be the best for us, and it's really strange that we do it. So pay attention to those subtle levels and pay attention to those addictions, because they're not you. Your natural self, isn't addicted to those things, actually. It doesn't even want to experience those things. But there's something else keeping you tied in. So pay attention to how it makes you feel, and if it doesn't make you feel good, don't do it. If it makes you not have good dreams and not good sleep, that's no bueno. We gotta end that. And so then the question becomes, well, what do I do instead? And that is a very profound question to ask, which I'll leave you with. But now I wanted to go over the 3 ways to help start beginning to exit the matrix. Okay, the first one is authenticity. I know that sounds strange, but so authenticity helps you exit the matrix. That means being really real and really honest with yourself as you're playing in the game. And also, how are you contributing to the illusion, to this software program game that you're playing? Like, are you, say watching the media like we've talked about? Are you out there like making the big bucks or like doing these things that you think you need to do? That's not authentic to your natural self and to what the world actually needs. So look at how you're doing that and see if you can adjust to align your authenticity with your natural self, so that you can act on it in a new way, which won't be the same things as the software program has put out. So that's number 1. Number 2, be on your mission. If you're on your mission, there's no way that it can take hold of you, that you can be under any illusion of false power, because you're back in your power. So that's like the number 1 way, is to just get into your own energy and start living your passion. And your mission is going to be something that's going to help create and generate the new world. And when you're synced with that, your astral, all aspects of your consciousness are synced with your higher self, are synced with the very best parts of you. And so anything else that's false will fly away, will just like disappear. There may be a detox required where you go through crazy like dreams, needing to like get rid of stuff. But overall, being on your mission is one of the best ways to get out of the matrix and get on the right path that's fully empowered. And the 3rd way, stay conscious. So that goes into being aware, making sure to be as conscious as possible. So when do you go unconscious? Do you go unconscious in movies? Do you go unconscious when you're eating like, fun junk food, or like drinking alcohol, or smoking pot, or whatever it is for you that helps you survive, of course, and cope with the world right now? Do they make you go unconscious? And being really aware of that, because whenever you go unconscious is when you're not fully in yourself. And when you're not fully in yourself, then there can be other energies that are at play, which is not fun or not helpful at all. So doing your best to stay as conscious as possible on an everyday level. And of course, consciousness on the conscious scale is actually quite unconscious. If we look at that, we still have our subconscious and unconscious and all these different areas that we need to bring to full consciousness. So the idea is on the very minimum level to be as aware and awake as we can during this waking state, and then from there to start digging into the subconscious and unconscious, to bring those aspects of ourselves back into oneness, back into wholeness, so that more of ourself is conscious, so that we're fully empowered, embodied, and ready to go. So really tap into this energy and see where you're at with it. It's fascinating. One final suggestion that just came up as I was waiting for the airplane to pass overhead is to be aware of how spiritual stuff makes you unconscious, or takes you away from your core, takes you away from that grounded place. So of course it's so important to understand everything that's going on and be fully aware. That's part of being conscious. But if your mind and energy gets too like caught up in like, oh, the Sirians and the Pleiadians, and it gets too far out, that's why sometimes it's even hard for me to do videos on this channel, is because I don't want it to take you out of yourself. But the more that you can come into yourself and not let conspiracy stuff just like take over your life to where you're not at home again, you know, or any of the spiritual stuff that's even really fun and high. But if it's outside of yourself, it's still again taking you away. So just really making sure to return home. And of course, exploring all that stuff is amazing, very important. Just stay home, stay in your body, stay in your own consciousness as much as you can, okay? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe. More videos on the way every Tuesday. Bye!